freaking out because this happened before.
Yeah, I was gonna say her flashbacks.
Her youngest son had passed away. Hi, my name is Amy.
Hi, I'm Lenan, and welcome back to Bingeable Beans.
Are you ready to stay up all night talking about when life gives you tangerines?
Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So this part of the show starts off talking. It shifts more about Sunny's daughter.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be calling her May, and then we're gonna call her fiance Bum Bum.
Bum Bum and May. Bum Bum and May. Yeah. Would you say this like can we say it like it's like the second generation?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, second generation. The extensions of their parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The show, this part, it focuses a lot on May.
Mm-hmm.
And it also has bits where it's showing the dynamic between the first generation and the second generation. So between Sunny and May, and how the difference in their generation and how that causes issues between them and their relationship as well.
Yeah, when we saw Asun's life, she lived a poor life. Even though they are better off now that she has a daughter and everything, they still are considered poor. Yeah. So basically, May is still living like kind of like the life that Asun lived, but in just a different generation. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a new generation now. She's not dirt poor anymore, but she still has the effects of it. So when she wants to do things that other people are able to, she's still not able to. Like studying abroad. That's not something that she could easily just say yes to. Or renting a nicer dorm, you know, not having to have a part-time job while in school. It's all, and she has to do not just a regular part-time job, but at the time tutoring was illegal.
Oh yeah.
So she had to do an illegal job to make money on the side.
I wonder why was it illegal?
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't know that tutoring was legal until this show, or I didn't know that it wasn't this time period. You know what I mean?
She was like doing it pretty innocently too. She wasn't like, I don't know.
Yeah.
She got caught, didn't she? Oh no, I just want to say like a comment on that. The mother who hired her was trying to cut corners, basically was telling May to take her daughter's test, didn't she?
Yeah.
Right? And
that would have been another level of illegal right there.
I think in a different, like, I think May would have done it, but I think May like has so much on the line
because she worried about her parents.
Yeah, if she got caught doing that, then things could have gone so bad for her. But the mother, she was so petty about it. She's like, just do it, like, oh, just like no problem, like I'm giving you money, like what's the issue? And May's like, no, hell no.
Yeah. But what was stopping her was her parents. She didn't want them to. She knew that her parents would have been so sad if they found out, because she said that she grew up being taught it's better to be last than to cheat on your tests. So by that fact, she just couldn't do it. She couldn't. Just the thought of her parents being sad would like torn her apart.
I'm so glad she didn't do it. At first I thought she was going to give in, because like money struggles. But then she started working at a part-time job like at a movie theater, right?
Oh, this is like way later.
Way later. But yeah, that's her other job now,
because then she moved. I think she went to study abroad. Honestly, I was kind of confused on that part, not gonna lie, because she went on this plane, right? But then she was still in Korea. I thought she was study abroad to Japan.
I know. I thought so too.
Maybe I'm missing something. I think I have to be missing something, because she went on an airplane.
Yeah, she did it somewhere like long distance from her parents.
Well, she was already in like I first showed her, she was already away from her parents because she was in school, like university. But then like she went on this airplane and like she went to somewhere else. That's where she had to live in this room, like a rented room. But I thought it was Japan, but they were speaking Korean and they were still in Korea, so I was kind of confused.
Maybe because like that wasn't I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't actually Japan. Maybe she studied. You know what? That's not the point.
Yeah.
My point is, at this time now where she went on the airplane, after that, she's living in this rented room. That's where she had to work at the movie theater. And she met this guy with glasses. And he's way older. And he looks like a bum. Like,
yeah, he gives bum vibes. He's like this loner by himself. He's like this
he's mysterious.
Okay, this is a random comment. Okay, it's nothing to do with the show, but even though he looks like a loser, right? And he has like shaggy hair, glasses, and like I think he's like kind of cute because if you like fix his hair and take out his glasses, you should like just stare at him, look at him, and you're like, I can tell he's like good looking. He has potential. He just needs to like take off those glasses, stand up straight, flatten his hair out, brush his hair, you know, maybe take a shower too.
So change everything.
No, but like he has the face, and he's tall too. Maybe because I'm intrigued because he's mysterious. I don't know. Maybe
he's older too.
Yeah, he's older. Yeah. Anyways, but that's not her lover. That's not May's lover. Her lover that she's going on and off with
for
is
years.
7 years, right?
Yeah,
like for a long time.
Up until they finally cut it off, it was 7 years that they were together. On and off, not like a solid 7 years.
Wait, was it the same guy that like had brought flowers and the dad was there and and he was like,
it was the same guy the whole time.
That scene was so funny because the dad's like, what are you doing with your life? Like, go get a job or something. He's like,
the dad was so petty from the beginning. The dad did not like the guy.
I wonder why he didn't. Maybe because
as like a dad,
he just
looking
didn't like
out for his daughter.
I guess so, because like the guy wasn't even that bad, honestly. I mean, he's not. Yeah, if he was like a gangster, yeah.
But I think it just purely stems from like seeing his daughter. Any guy that's around his daughter, he's like, why are you around my daughter?
Yeah. Yeah.
The dad was so cute. Simp whenever he went to
see his daughter
her and stuff. He was really trying. I feel so bad for him because of how she reacted. But on that note, I do understand her reaction too. You know, so some people might see that as she's so ungrateful. She's being so rude. Her parents gave her everything, especially when us as a viewer, we saw what her parents had to go through.
Yeah.
So some people could definitely see it in that way, but part of me like understand for her because it's very frustrating, and the reason that they're not like this is just the way they grew up was just so different. Both the first generation, so Sunny and Simp, and now their kids, it's so insanely different. Now there's technology, there's cars, you know what I mean?
Well, I agree with that. My take on it, why they're not like this, May and her parents, is because I remember she made a couple comments. May was like kind of frustrated the fact that she grew up poor and she has to work extra hard. Like, she's going through stuff too. I'm not saying that Sunny and Simp didn't go through stuff either. I'm saying she has to go through it too, and like that's all she could see, and she's like frustrated in that part. I think she loves her parents, but like she in a way kind of resents them because, you know, she has to go through all this. Like, bro,
I think she's put in a position where when you're dirt poor and you don't have access to those things, it's a different kind of struggle. Obviously, you're struggling to survive, right? But when you're put in this weird in between where you see what you could potentially have, it's extra frustrating.
Yes.
And you're put in a position where you kind of have the opportunity to, but what's stopping you is money.
Yeah.
It's extra frustrating. And then you're thinking in your head, oh, what's stopping me is money. And like on top of that, why don't I have money? My parents aren't rich.
Yeah.
But then again, you think about it some more. You're like, oh, but they tried their best.
Yeah.
It's this constant back and forth. So I understand for her and I feel for her in a way because I know it feels so frustrating. So she's kind of letting it out on her parents when in reality, that's not what she intends for it to be. Because she's talking to her dad. She's like, oh, you're so annoying. When like her mom is just out of concern. A lot of things she's saying is just pure concern for her. But for her, when May is hearing it, all those things she already knows.
Yeah.
All the things that her mom is warning her about, she already knows.
It's like more annoying for her to hear.
Yeah, because she's already stressed and worried about all these other things, and she's not telling her mom everything. She's hiding certain things because she doesn't want her mom to be sad. So that in itself is already tiring and frustrating.
Yeah.
So hearing this extra nagging about things that she already knows, that's when like she kind of can't hold herself back anymore. Yeah. And she's like, oh, you're so annoying.
Mm-hmm. She's also, I'm glad that she ended up on the other side, like being a good kid, because she could easily be a bad kid if she like wanted to, because the struggles and stuff, it's just really hard. But yeah, because I think it's more annoying for her because she's a good kid and she has good intentions and she has goals.
Yeah.
Her mom nagging is just like, bro, you don't understand, like I'm trying, you know?
Yeah.
And her simply, her mom, Sunny, kind of saying like, oh, you need to go home, you need to call me. It's like so annoying. And like I remember May made a comment. She's like, oh, I could lie to you like on and on and on, like you saying all this, like yeah, but I could be lying to you right now, like I could be doing all this but I'm not, you know. But anyways, yeah, that's, I mean, I feel for both sides, because Sunny, she like that's her like life. Her daughter is her life, low key.
Yeah. That's a whole nother issue too, is when, because Sunny had a big dream too. We saw that as a viewer. She wanted to go to school. She's a very smart kid, very ambitious, but she wasn't able to. And so now that her daughter is able to, she's kind of living through her daughter. You know what I mean? So that's also another pressure on May as well. That also kind of affects their relationship. That factor too. You know what I mean?
Like the pressure?
Yeah.
Oh, like her like making May do stuff?
She's not making May do stuff, but it's because Sunny wanted to do that so bad, right? That's why she's doing everything she can to let her daughter to do that. You know what I mean? So that puts the pressure on May. Like May does have to do it, but also she feels bad that her parents have to go through all of that for her. She, you know what I mean? She talks about it briefly too, is she feels really guilty every single time she gets something. She's supposed to be happy, but she feels guilty instead. So it's just something, this situation is kind of the sum of life between parents, you know what I mean? Different generation, each of them have their own kind of struggles. Yeah. And sometimes, sometimes the first generation isn't able to see the second generation struggle because they're in their head, what we had was so much worse.
Oh, you're saying, yeah. So you're saying like Sunny is like, why is she not? I don't think she's questioning it. I don't think.
Sunny didn't necessarily do that as much as Bum Bum's mom. Bum Bum's mom did that. Because I don't know if you remember, but it was towards the end of episode, later, like episode 11, 10, something like that. Bum Bum was complaining, because at this point May broke off the engagement. This is years later. Fast forward, Bum Bum is married to someone else now and he's miserable. Bum Bum's mom is miserable. And Bum Bum's telling his mom why he's miserable. He's like, you're happy, aren't you? You got what you wanted. You're the only one smiling in my wedding picture. And she's still complaining. She's like, you're my pride. I did this for you, blah, 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 blah. And he's saying that, like, she's saying that she's complaining, she's miserable, right? But she's still like, oh, you're my pride, this, and that. She's saying, you have everything. Why are you not happy? Yeah. But she doesn't see it from his end. It's not about materialistic things, yeah, and that he also has his own struggles too. She's not seeing that. She's just persistent saying, you're my pride, I gave you everything, you have everything, why are you not happy? Yeah. Unlike not unlike, but Sunny's mom, she wasn't like that at all. Or Sunny.
Sorry. My God, that's crazy. Sunny wasn't like that at all. She wasn't doing, like, putting pressure on her daughter, which I'm glad. She wasn't like, oh, I did this for you. Like, why are you struggling? Like, I struggle more than you. I think she took her daughter's struggle, like, she knew that her daughter was struggling and it was valid.
And that's why it was very sad. They were both sad for each other. Sunny and May, you know. Sunny thinking about her daughter having to struggle made her sad. May thinking about, her mom's struggling to provide for her makes her sad. So they're both just sad.
Yeah. But speaking of Bum Bum, they somehow May ended up in the hospital, right? Because her apartment had like some sort of like gas leaking gas, and she was unconscious. Thank God her mother came in.
Mother instinct was crazy there. Yeah, that was crazy.
She was like crying. She was like holding her baby. She was holding May. She like freaking out because this happened before.
Yeah, I was gonna say her flashbacks.
Her youngest son had passed away because of this ocean storm, whatever. He like died in the ocean or drowned or something like that, right?
I think he just passed out. The storm.
He passed out?
It didn't show specifically how he died.
I don't know. I don't know how he died.
Drown. Or maybe he drowned. They got him up. They never showed us how he died.
Okay, that's not the point though. Yeah. He just passed away, the little kid, and that traumatized Sunny for the rest of her life. Like she would not let that go. And her seeing May passed out like that, she's just like getting flashbacks.
Dude, I got flashbacks for her, dude. Yeah. I was like, oh, this can't happen again.
But so because she was freaking out, right? She didn't know she could not think straight. Bless you. Her somehow the guy, the mysterious guy with the glasses, that's like a loner, that's an artist that worked with her.
Okay,
He's cute. He's hot.
We get it.
He was there to pick her up because obviously Sunny couldn't. And
he lives right there. That's why.
And he was able to carry her down the hill and ended up in the hospital. That's where Bum Bum was like crying at the hospital. He was like, oh my God, please, like, don't do this. Why is your feet so cold? Like, oh my God, like you're gonna marry me. Trust. Like you're not marrying my parents, like you're marrying me. And the whole time everyone in the hospital was like getting annoyed, like, bro, can you get these little kids out? Like, stop playing house. And the mom, Sunny's mom, was right there like hiding, like signing papers, but she was like listening on to this conversation. She was like, oh my God, this reminds me of like my relationship when I was younger with Simp. And she's like,
no, May is literally an extension of Sunny, because with Bum Bum too, she said the exact same thing. She was like, you're as quiet as a mouse. And when Bum Bum told Simp that, so May's dad, right, he literally got flashbacks. He was like, oh, whoa, like Sunny said that to me too.
Everything he said, it was like low-key like kind of the same thing, exactly the same thing
but there was one difference. It came down to one big difference.
What was the difference?
Was Bum Bum didn't stand up for May the same way Simp stood up for Sunny.
We figured out what it was. I'm not saying I think Bum Bum had the capability, but I think his mom was stopping him. I'm not saying like you shouldn't, parents like stop you from doing things, but the generation was kind of different. Simp's generation, Sunny and Simp's generation was like a lot different. It was
they had nothing to lose.
Yeah, nothing to lose.
And Simp growing up, he played a big part in helping the family the whole time too, and earning and everything.
Yeah.
Bum Bum, I think he was more so handed things.
Everything, yeah.
That's why I feel like he didn't really have a say, and he didn't have the confidence to stand up against his parents because they were the ones that gave him everything.
Yeah.
So that was a big factor.
Yeah.
That stopped them.
Yeah. And so Bum Bum's mom she's very nitpicky. I think whomever, not just to specifically May. Maybe because May is from a poor family, but I think the mom is the issue, not May. And there was a scene where May was trying to use a ladle to scoop up soup, but I don't know why she was struggling. But maybe because I don't think her scooping soup from the pot with the ladle was the problem. I think the mom was just so particular. Bum Bum's mom was particular how it was scooped. She's like, let me do it, And so it was like that the whole time, every time she would meet up with Bum Bum's mom. And it was to the point where she couldn't take it anymore. She's like, she just thinks that Bum Bum's mom is just doesn't like her, or like is so difficult that she cannot work with.
Well, her May, what she thought of Bum Bum's mom was, obviously May didn't want to be down on her knees for his mom, but she kind of had to, because one, she wanted to marry Bum Bum, right?
Uh-huh.
But two was because she didn't want her parents to be sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she kept being good, so that the Bum Bum's mom maybe could eventually accept her, but clearly that didn't work. And if she decided to stay with him, it would have never gotten better either.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been like that, if not have gotten worse throughout the years or over the years, right? And her final straw was when Bum Bum's mom made Sunny cry. So when Bum Bum's mom made May's own mom cry, that was she drew the line there. Because I think in her head, the mindset, it's probably like, you can make me cry, you can do whatever to me, but not to my parents.
Yeah.
And so that's when it's nice to see, because Sunny was also standing up for May too. When the parents met with each other for the first time, and Bum Bum's parents are kind of nitpicking her, this and that. Sunny's mom does stand up for her, May too. She's saying, well, I didn't teach her certain things because she's precious to me. She's so precious that I couldn't bring myself to have her do all these little things, these quote unquote laborious things. That's her way of defending her, right? And then May also was defending her mom too. So it was just really nice to see, because when they're actually together, they kind of butt heads, and their relationship's not the greatest, but outside of that, it shows that they deeply, deeply care for each other.
Yeah.
And it's so heartfelt. It's so cute.
Speaking about heartfelt, before I talk about that part, what I was gonna say, I had a thought, like, when you're gonna marry someone, I feel like you're gonna marry their parents. I don't care what anyone says. You're like, oh, you're only gonna marry me, you're not gonna marry my parents. Trust. No, I'm not gonna listen to you unless we move away in a different country or a different state away from your parents.
Or you cut off your family.
Yeah, either me or your parents, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't want that to happen to my significant other.
I wouldn't want to make them pick at all. But at the same time, when people say, oh, the family shouldn't matter, if you love the person, it shouldn't matter what the family acts like or how they react. It only matters if you like that person. But I don't think so.
Because once you marry, let's say Sunny married Bum Bum, she's going to be miserable for the rest of her life.
Because she's going to have to be around them forever.
Yeah.
In life, you have to be very particular about who you surround yourself with, because their energy will rub off onto you. Their negativity, whatever it is, maybe you can withstand it at first, but over time that will only tear you down,
mentally and physically draining.
Yes.
Hell no. I can't. I don't care. You're my soulmate. Like, I'm not going to kill myself to be with you.
Exactly. You'll go from like a beautiful blooming flower to a shriveled up stem,
gone ashes. Poof.
Yeah.
She said, didn't you say Sunny was like, she was telling Bum Bum, I love you, or she respects him. I respect you, Bum Bum, but I respect myself more. Period.
That's why she ended it, because she couldn't withstand his mom, the disrespect coming from his mom.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say the show so far, the first episode made me cry. There's like some people that were saying like, oh, they cried every episode. I could see that. It's very heartfelt, which I like. Some people though might think this show's boring. I've had people tell me when they first watched it, they couldn't continue it because they thought the pace was slow and it was boring. I could see that, but personally, I like it.
I think you have to really relate to them.
And relate.
Sympathize with them.
Yeah.
For you to really be hooked onto the show, because that's how I felt. I think maybe whenever it transitioned over to May, Sunny's daughter, I think it wasn't as interesting. That's what I think. Just slightly less interesting, but I was still enjoying the show because I related to her. but I nonetheless think Sunny's story was cuter and more bingeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was more like dramatic. It was more like, whoa, I can't believe they did that for each other, you know.
Yeah. But that's like very dramatic. I think May's is very, very realistic.
Yeah.
Very realistic.
To our generation right now.
Because who swims across the ocean for someone nowadays?
Hey, if you could find that in this generation,
wow.
that's a keeper.
No. Yep. So far, I think it's pretty good.
So far, I still think it's good though. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I'm excited to see the rest still, how it wraps up. Because I'm pretty sure it goes on to a third generation as well.
You think so?
No, it does. They talk about it.
I think the third generation is going to be a lot better. I
It's
hope.
going to be like us. They're going to act like us.
Oh, hell no. Gen Z?
They're going to be like doom scrolling. And makes me get off your phone. I'm just kidding. I don't know. We'll have to see. But until then, now it's time for us to go to sleep.
So, close your eyes. Shut your mouth. Dream a dream. Dream us out. Dream, 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 dream. Wow, there's a whole lawnmower in the back.